People always ask me, how do you get a gig playing drums at a theme park? Well, I'll tell you exactly how I landed this job, the audition process, what to expect, everything I wish I knew going into it, and some advice for you to land your first theme park drumming gig. My name is Benton, and I've been drumming in theme parks around the United States for 3 years now, and let me tell you, it's not just about chops, it's about timing, consistency, and wearing a costume in 100-degree weather without passing out. Let's rewind to the beginning. I was in my last month of grad school for music at Old Dominion University when the thought crossed my mind that I should probably get a job this summer, more specifically drumming. So I decided to apply to the theme park called Busch Gardens in Williamsburg. I got together my college performance reels, my Sundays playing at church, and I sent them in, because why not? About a week later, I get a call from someone offering me a drumming job at Dollywood in Tennessee. He said the Busch Gardens sent him my audition, and the timing was perfect because he was building a new drumming show at the park. Finally, a few weeks later, I was on my way to my very first seasonal drumming gig. Audition number 2 rolls around as I get an email from Busch Gardens during my contract at Dollywood. It stated that they would like to have me for their Halloween show that fall, and that I needed to follow the guidelines to the new audition material. Now, this audition had 3 parts. First was a drum set part I needed to play along to a track to for about 45 seconds. Part 2 of the audition was a snare drum solo with some knife-like parts in the music. It was basically saying that I needed to act like I was playing drums with knives, which sounds crazy, right? Either way, this part also came with a click track and I had to write my own solo in the middle of it. Here's some of that audition tape. Part 3 included an acting portion. Yeah, you heard me right. Acting, something I didn't think I would be doing in my drumming career. I got to choose from a few weird prompts, then I had to record myself acting them out. Can you guess which one I chose?
Please. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know either. I was supposed to be like fighting a bigger guy than me and losing, I think. After all that, I sent the audition in and heard back in a few days that I got the gig. The rehearsal started only a few weeks after my first gig finished, and at that moment I knew I was drumming for a living, for real now. Now I want to talk about the things to expect in a theme park drumming job. As a drummer and or percussionist, you could be asked to play an array of drumming equipment. Drum set, snare drum, anything on a drum line, just a setup of toms and cymbals, a massive cart with wheels filled with drums, Bowron, cajon, and one of my favorites now, the wooden coffin. Whatever instrument you may play or get assigned, you can expect 1 to 2 weeks of rehearsals before your run of shows. If you are in a theater-like production, the rehearsals can be with all musicians first and then you join the rest of the cast, but it varies from contract to contract. Show-wise, you can expect to perform multiple shows a day in a costume related to the product. The costume could be really laid back and just be some street clothes, or it could be super heavy, shiny, and maybe uncomfortable. Lastly, the directors look for consistency in their performers. That means showing up on time, knowing your parts, and performing 100% of every run of the show or section. As a drummer, you might get notes or no notes. The best thing to do is just stay patient and flexible. Here's some things I wish I knew going into theme park drumming. Starting with the acting side of performing. As a musician, we typically know how to perform on our instrument, right? But in most theme park products, there's an acting element to your performance. Meaning, you may have to interact with the crowd, smile a ton, or even give a mean, smug look the whole show. And that may not be natural to some drummers. Oftentimes, we're taught to keep a straight face and look uniform with those around us. Now, don't get me wrong, acting while performing is pretty fun. but I definitely wish I knew more about it going into all this. Another thing I wish I knew going into theme park drumming was that sometimes as a drummer, you aren't given note for note music, or music at all. Now I know for my gigging drummers out there, this may not be a surprise for you, but as someone that spent the last 10 plus years learning how to read music proficiently, not getting written music really threw me off guard. Sometimes we get rhythm charts or a guideline, but for the most part, my contracts have been taught by word of mouth and listening to tracks over and over again. If I had to give some advice to anyone looking at getting into the music scene, not just theme park drumming, it would be this. Just go for it. Remember how I got my first gig? I sent a few clips of me playing drums and percussion, and the company I sent it to another one that was hiring. That right there put me on 2 companies' radars for 1 submission. And then the first company asked me to re-audition. I would have never expected that outcome. So put that reel together for whatever audition you want to do. Because at the end of the day, no one will know who you are unless you put yourself out there. I hope this video has been insightful for you. If you have any questions or video ideas, just drop them in the comments below and I'll try to respond to them. I think the next thing I'll pursue is talking about how my very first drumming gig went. Until then, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. About a week later, I got a call from somebody offering me a job. It was my last month